Hey guys, hope you are doing well. We are back again with a book of your choice. Now, this week, according to you, we are with Wings of Fire, written by our Honorable President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Wings of Fire. Wings of Fire is an autobiography capable of inspiring even a common man into becoming a technologist. A well composed novel which revolves around the life of Mr. Kalam, a renowned scientist, as he shares his experiences and the minutest of details of his life. I like the way the book was being put together, along with the delicate facts of his personal life, his family background, the pain and the suffering he went through and recollected himself is commendable. The day I finished reading this book, such an influential personality impacted me very deeply, and it gave me a glimpse of how the power of positive thinking can help achieve all odds. This autobiography comprises of a balance of details of the technological and political challenges faced to prosper in its aeronautical and space program. It is also a success story of Dr. Kalam's participative management practices. I will recommend you all to read this book at least once. This book gives an insight into the lives of Hindus and Muslims of India and their relationships among each other and among multi-religious communities in India. Wings of Fire is an account of a young boy who tries to achieve his dreams beating all odds. The story emphasizes the importance of family, relatives and friends in helping achieve each other's goal and turning dreams to reality. It teaches us how to become a patriotic citizen of our country, shown in the book as a determinant India, and countless effort of its scientists in achieving superiority in aeronautical, space and rocket technology. This book offers an important lesson of finding success from failures of Indian space and rocket infrastructure programs. A good presentation of the role of other renowned scientists molding our country's future. This book is full of information and is a recommended choice for every student because this book has the influence and power to motivate a person to stand out in life. It is a unique model of accomplishing one's goal while fulfilling the promise to its country. As I read through this book, I felt the same humility that Mr. Kalam felt when he was engaged into the program. A friend recommended me this book and I am glad that he did. This book is biography of India's President Abdul Kalam, which has been co-authored with famous Arun Tiwari, who once had worked with Kalam in the field of military defense research. As from the book itself, this is the story of Kalam, who flourished from darkness into the bright sunlight, his personal and professional effort. This is also the narrative of independent India's struggle for technological self-educacy and sovereignty in defense systems. A story as much regarding politics as it is regarding science. The story tells us about Kalam's rise from a humble lower middle class family and his narrative of India's efforts in rocketry and space technology. Segregated into 4 sections, the book gradually reaches for the stars, orientation, creation, propitiation and contemplation. As a tribute to his mother and father, the book is dedicated to his parents. Now, the first segment relates to the early life of Abul Pakir Jainulabuddin Kalam. His recollections of the early days are very suggestive of good old Magudi setup. He remembers his parents, relatives and teachers, his most influential characters in the book. Adding color to the section are pictures of that time. This segment covers all his early learning and travels. The next segment, that is the second segment, is related to Kalam's further education and work experience and his involvement with projects of military defense and space, primarily the SLV-3, which you all know. This part has many scientific details and is an introduction to defense and space research organizations. Kalam is an Aam Admi at heart. This is shown in the book in many of his narratives through his interaction with even the insignificant people in the hierarchy like Dr. Brahm Prakash, Professor Satish Dhawan and Professor Vikram Sarabhai. The third segment covers the years from 80s to 1991 when Kalam is posted from ISRO to Military Defense Lab. Filled with many pictures, This section too keeps us entertained. And to imagine, he worked mostly in government institutions where bureaucracy and red tapes are the order of the day. We have all heard of SLV-3, PSLV, Akash, Naga, Agni, Trishul in the news, and these technological achievements marks the success of what is now one of the strongest and determined aeronautical and space organization of India. The last segment, that is the fourth one, is connected with the later years where Kalam is bestowed upon series of awards, his thought and his visions for a proud India. It is almost impossible not to be inspired by the life of Mr. Kalam. This segment, along with the conclusion, also mentions of Kalam's dream for the year 2020. The book itself is written in simple English, and it seems as if the author is speaking out to the reader directly. One must read this for the following reasons: India's greatest scientist Abdul Kalam's story, military and defense research, missile technology, India's vital space programs, and also for GK purpose. Throughout the book, there are morals that are for the grooming purposes for everyone, even for the administrators. Abdul Kalam tells us how the finest of people can be brought out. Abdul Kalam is referred to as spiritual scientist. His visions and contributions to his country are remarkable. As a young man, Abdul Kalam was inquisitive and keen to learn more and more about science. Kalam's mentor persuaded him to ponder onto the great opportunity into space science, and by achieving this, India will become self-sufficient in aeronautical and rocket science. He was the first one with a vision that India has a great potential in its space and satellite development of launch vehicles. SLVs provide as the foundation for a range of state-of-the-art mission technology in India's military. From an American viewpoint, when everyone is shouting bloody murder and weapon proliferation, Abdul Kalam's memories of France taking away of support and fake accusation of German helped serve as an alarming reminder that embargoing a country simply cannot work if the country's public is strong enough to control their own destiny. It's worrying that there is little debate on the ethics of an impoverished country developing nuclear weapons and deploying delivery systems. But that's almost totally lost in the argument of self-reliance, a determination to never again surrender to foreign rule. Abdul Kalam, an optimist, had helped India become self-sufficient in its space and rocket technology. The book also inspires the youth of India, living nationally and internationally, that they appreciate the one marvel achieved by their nation's hero, Abdul Kalam, and strive themselves to become strong in every area of their profession and make India prosper for eternity. Abdul Kalam, the man with many names. He is most trusted man in India, according to a survey. He is also known as the missile man of India. Abdul Kalam will be cherished long after he is gone, the man whom India loves. The book is a journey into Abdul Kalam's life. The book, however, does not cover his presidency days that were published before he became the President of India. Abdul Kalam stayed in Rameswaram, which is famous for its Shiv temple. The famous temple was few kilometers journey from Abdul Kalam's home, a Muslim dominated area. Abdul Kalam used to sell newspaper to help his brother, was good friend of priest of the temple, and his father was a respectable man whom people used to turn for advice. Abdul Kalam writes about his school days, his brother-in-law's influence on him, and his brother and his teachers in the initial chapters. He also writes about his financial challenges he faced during the time he was into education. The later chapters are some of the Vikram Sarabhai's immense contribution in establishment of Space Research Center and opening up new fields for coming scientists. Abdul Kalam's effort in association with other scientists would make ordinary India understand the zeal, the effort of human soul in making India a well-respected country in space science. As a mentor of Abdul Kalam, Vikram Sarabhai had expert management skills and team building skills with which he groomed Abdul Kalam into becoming a scientist to remember for years to come. In one of his meetings with Vikram Sarabhai at 3 a.m. in the morning, Abdul Kalam worked hours at stretch with his colleague for presentation to Defense Minister, and he forgets an important personal event to attend to. This shows Kalam's determination for his work and his country to succeed. ISRO Prithvi Agni